We all love a legendary comeback, and Degree Original Cool Rush is back and better than ever. Cool Rush isn't just a scent, it's a movement, a fan favorite that delivers bold, fresh vibes and all-day sweat protection. Whether you have a man that spends hours in the gym, heads into the office early, or is just trying to stay fresh on a long day, Cool Rush has their back. Head to your local Walmart or Target and grab Degree Cool Rush, the fan favorite scent from the world's #1 antiperspirant brand.
We're sisters, Amy and Nancy Harrington, the founders of the Passionistas Project. We started the Passionistas Project to tell the stories of women who are following their passions and fighting for equality for everyone, to inspire other people to do the same. The more we spoke with women for our podcast, subscription box, and the Women's Equality Summit, the more we saw a common trait in all of them. They are unstoppable. Whether they choose to use their voice to start a women-owned brand or fight for the rights of the marginalized, we found that all Passionistas are resilient, compassionate, and persistent. So each year, we honor women who embody these qualities by presenting the Passionistas Persist Awards.
We'd like to start by introducing our first presenter for this evening, Selene Luna. Not only is Selene a talented comic, actor, and activist, she's also our producing partner on this summit. Selene was called a polished spitfire by the New York Times and a walking ball of comic defiance by LA Weekly. She is famous for being the voice of Tia Rosita in Disney Pixar's Academy Award winner Coco. In 2019, she took to Capitol Hill alongside US Representative Maxine Waters and US Senator Chuck Schumer to speak on behalf of disability rights. Selene opened for several of Margaret Cho's national tours and is the perfect person to present this year's Passionistas Persist Humanitarian Award. So please welcome Selene Luna.
First, I'd like to thank Amy and Nancy Harrington for inviting me to present this year's Passionistas Persist Humanitarian Award. It feels impossible to cover the landscape of what this year's Humanitarian Award recipient has accomplished in her 30-plus year career. She is a pioneering comic amongst women and an outspoken beacon for social justice. I first met this year's Humanitarian Award recipient at her birthday party many years ago when I was invited by a mutual friend. I was already a fan, but upon meeting her, I knew she was special. And through the years, she proved me right. The 2021 Passionistas Persist Humanitarian Award is being presented to Margaret Cho. Throughout her career, she has been bold and courageous in speaking up for those who are not able to speak for themselves, and to encourage others to use their voice to promote change. Margaret Cho is an uncompromising leader for equality and justice with a long history of tackling racism, bullying, and LGBTQIA+ rights, long before woke existed, and has always done it with grace, integrity, and humility. As a trailblazing comedian, actress, musician, and activist, Margaret Cho has 5 Grammy Award nominations and 1 Emmy nod for her groundbreaking work on 30 Rock. Rolling Stone magazine named Margaret Cho one of the 50 best stand-up comics, calling her the sort of funny, sex-positive, feminist, and LGBT activist younger comics continue to look up to. Currently, you can catch her on Netflix, Good on Paper, and she's excited to get back on the road with her Fresh Off the Bloat tour. Distinguished guests, please help me welcome the recipient of the 2021 Passionistas Persist Humanitarian Award, Margaret Cho.
Thank you. Thank you. This is wonderful. I'm gonna really treasure this. This is really incredible. I'm so honored and I love it. I love that, like, you know, this is just it's a really beautiful thing to have and to be acknowledged, and it's really special. You know, I think that it's just really incredible to be just rewarded for what I think is everybody's job, is just activism, being aware, being and understanding that the world is really an unequal place. And when we can figure out a way to try to normalize equality, that's like really what it's all about, is like normalizing equality and normalizing the fight for equality and wanting it, not being satisfied with the way things are and not being satisfied with the status quo. And so this award means everything. So thank you. I'm so honored.
Thank you for inviting us into your home.
Thank you.
And, your acceptance speech really strikes a chord in what I want to talk about, because it really is about, I don't understand why the concept of equality is so out of our grasp, for so many people. And if we could just get on the same page, I think we'd be living in a beautiful world, but maybe that's pretty idealistic. But thank you, though, for taking the time to chat with us and being here with us on the second annual Passionistas Project Women's Equality Summit. Now,
thank you.
From you, I personally have learned a lot about equality and what to do about it. So I'd like to go ahead and start the discussion because you mentored me, not only as a comic, but also my activism. And I wanted to share about that because I do think a lot of people stand to benefit from our discussion. Now, you have been called the patron saint of outsiders. And that is sincerely a quality of yours that drew me to you, even before I ever met you. Because as a disabled Mexican immigrant, I've always felt isolated and alienated from society. And so I became a performer as a way to force society to acknowledge my existence. And when you came into my life, you were the first person I'd ever met in showbiz who told me that my story was equally valid and that I also had the right to be heard as much as anyone else. So this is how you helped me in my journey into stand-up. So, I've seen you mentor a bunch of performers and non-performers alike. So is there someone in your life that did that for you? And what compels you to elevate the underdog and help them work it out through stand-up?
Well, thank you. And I am really lucky because I had great mentors, people like Joan Rivers and Jerry Seinfeld and Robin Williams and Rosie O'Donnell and Whoopi Goldberg, people who always encouraged me, who were always like in the wings, just like saying, keep going, it's great. It's great, keep fighting. And, your story is valuable, your story is needed. And I feel like it's kind of really our responsibility in comedy to mentor each other, especially women, because there's so few women in comedy. And it's like we're also in demand because we're so busy. There's so few of us. So we rarely get to know our own community within our community. And so it's a really weird thing. It's very isolating. But I think as many opportunities that I can reach out to younger comedians to help them feel supported and seen, it's really valuable. And then I learn from them. Like I learn so much from young people now who are explaining to me everything that's changing in the world. We have an entire generation who's grown up with the internet, which is really a different experience, whereas we had newspapers and silly putty and what else?
Yeah, we were like magazines, records, newspaper. I mean, the internet. We didn't grow up with it, and I remember if you wanted to learn about counterculture, you had to physically go out into the world and find it and participate in it. There was not. You just had to go out and discover it on your own.
It was not something you could search for online. Like you would have to go to, I would go to Vermont Street and there was a muck and EK, which had zines. And I would read those, and I would actually correspond with some of these zine authors, and actually write letters to Dan Klaus, who was drawing 8-Ball at the time, writing into the letters to the editor, things like that. Like, it was just so much a very slow society, but we really appreciated our otherness because we only had each other. And now there's like a whole lot of ways to connect with people that are like-minded. And then that can be very good, and it can be very difficult and negative too. But if you find a place of oneness, even if you feel isolated and alone.
Yeah, I totally relate to what you're saying, being the same generation. And I know I would have benefited tremendously having a community to turn to. But I'm conflicted because being who I am, then I think I would have gotten lazy without having the need to go explore the world on my own and finding my independence. I
Right.
think if the internet happened when we were kids, I don't know that I would be the independent person I am today.
Yeah, we may not have appreciated it as much because it was all right there.
Yeah.
Just in the ways I notice a lot that Gen Z really idealized Gen X, not necessarily millennials, but Gen X in particular, because we were like before smartphones and before.
Yeah, I mean, we're like the very last, generation of, I guess, horse buggies, or we're the final analog generation. I mean, we should be called the analog generation, analog.
Generation analog, because we really I used a typewriter. I used a typewriter to and not even a word processor. I used a typewriter for like letters. I would use a typewriter I had my dad's typewriter, so I would use it for like writing. I actually had a typewriter, but I didn't have any paper for it. It was just like a decor. I also have a telephone, like an old Bakelite telephone with like a ring, the rotary, and I have no phone line.
Oh yeah, there's no.
It's like I have like plugs in the wall, but it just goes to nowhere. That would be really spooky if you plugged it and you could actually call somebody from like 1992.
That's
scary. That's
scared.
really scary.
Margaret, what are you passionate about?
I'm really passionate about equal rights and about the way that we are now coming out of invisibility in the worlds of television and film, in entertainment in general, that we're now really looking towards, at least, I don't even see it nearly like a level playing field, but I do see there's more inclusivity when we're talking about television and in particular. And I'm really grateful for that. I think that's really powerful and really exciting. So I'm really passionate about the way that entertainment has shifted. And we're looking more to be more inclusive. And that to me is really exciting. And that's really, it's great to finally sort of seem like or feel like we're on time as opposed to way too early. Like, usually like we're way too early, but right now it feels like we're actually on time. So that's good.
That's an excellent point, because I certainly relate to this, and I know you've heard it a million times throughout your career. It's like, America's not ready. People, we can't make this show for you because people are not ready. Yeah. And now it's like, finally they're ready.
They're ready.
And I can't believe this is happening in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still blown away. Like, I honestly never ever thought I would see inclusive representation or diversity that we're seeing now in entertainment. Never ever thought it was going to happen.
Yeah.
I think it's great. It's awesome.
It's very gratifying, and it's really, it's just about time. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in the future, because this actually oddly doesn't even feel like a trend either. Because we've sort of approached it and it's kind of felt like fleeting. But right now it seems like this change is here to stay. We hope anyway. especially when cis white straight male comedians are complaining. It's like, it's illegal to be white. And they get shut down so fast. It's really funny. Because, like say in like 2012, that kind of narrative would really be welcomed and people would be like, oh, yeah.
Mhm. It's so gratifying. I cannot tell you. It's so gratifying. I'm just like, I know so many like cis white men are complaining and whining and like, I'm like, oh, well, now you know how it feels. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's-
Now, and it's not even like they're marginalized. It's not even like that at all. It's
Yeah. All we want them to do is to share the space. We're not trying to take it away.
yeah, but they're like, they're gonna put us in cages. It's so funny.
That would be awesome.
It's so funny. What do you mean a zoo?
They're freaking out. They're totally freaking out.
It's like so like it's such an overreaction, and so it's really fun to be able to make fun of it. And I think that we're really at an advantage of like we have our camera phones, smartphones on us. We can record what's happening and like upload it, so we have evidence. Like before, it was all sort of like hearsay.
Yeah, and I find the irony around it really funny because it's these cis white men who invented the technology for us to bust them. There's no one doing it now. It's
so
like
funny.
it's amazing.
It's really funny. So it's really like it's great to feel more empowered by society and to know that we're on the way to something really good. And I'm just very like, oh, my cat is trying to get to this award. She's like,
Oh, which one is that one?
This one is Sacre-Cœur. She I gave her some CBD and she's like so high. And she's deaf. So when she has her CBD, sometimes I'll come up behind her and she'll like she'll freak out, and she ran under the couch. So now she's out again. Now she's high. She had a little bit of CBD and some catnip, so she's like rolling.
Oh, she's fucked up.
It's like Coachella. It's like Catchella up in this house all the time. I mean, they're always like with the catnip and the silver vine.
Oh my God, you're gonna have to go to Al-Anon.
I know, at Catanon, Doganon, and then this is Lucia's right. Oh,
that's the queen. She's the queen. And later, I do want to talk about Lucia, definitely, because I'm all distracted because I just want to look at her.
I know, she's so sweet.
With a little chocolate chip eyes. She's so cute.
Yes, she's a little boba eyes.
Oh, she's boba. Look at her. I'm gonna drink her through a straw. Okay,
I know, a really big straw.
I want to talk about feminism with you. And I feel like you're one of the very few women I can really discuss feminism with. Because as a brown woman with a disability, I have always had a difficult time identifying with feminism. Because although feminism is a social movement for equality, it denies the existence of people like me. I want to share just one example of what I'm talking about. Like for decades, feminists have been fighting to close the pay gap between men and women. However, the feminist equal pay movement does not even acknowledge that it is legal in this country to pay disabled workers sub-minimum wage, sometimes as low as 22 cents an hour. And there are 2,000 companies in the US who take advantage of this law, Goodwill being the largest offender. So in addition, it is well documented that white women earn more than non-disabled women of color. So I have never heard an influential feminist leader speaking up against wage inequalities against women with disabilities or any disabled person for that matter. So this is only one of the issues that makes it really difficult for me to jump on board with a movement that does not acknowledge equality for all.
Yeah.
And, so my entire life, it's been my impression that feminism is about issues that impact non-disabled white women and not women like me. And, we all know that you're a leader in the feminist movement who has proven to be a voice for all women. And I can personally attest to that. But do you, as an Asian American woman, feel equally represented by feminism?
No, but that's what we have to continually fight is the bias and discrimination and real blindness within our own ranks. We really have a lot of problems that I think we're starting to see, with this sense of understanding intersectionality and knowing how that affects us. And it's really important because a lot of times when you're sort of part of one quote unquote minority, I hate the word minority because I think it's actually false, but it's not it's just what the word is. But it's like if you feel like you're oppressed, then you think you cannot possibly be an oppressor, and that's totally wrong. So what we have to do is look internally to see where we are making those mistakes, where we are biased, where we're discriminated. I mean, I've been disappointed probably by feminism more than anybody else. I mean, sometimes I'm disappointed also by the LGBTQ community in the way that they will treat parts of our community. I think that's changed. That's gotten a lot better. But it is like this weird thing where a lot of times we think bias is okay because we're already a member of another oppressed culture.
Yeah. And I feel the same about the gay community as well. I mean, it's just, but I guess it's just, it just trickles down to like you have your community and then you got the subculture within the community. And just like, it just feels like the hierarchy just doesn't stop.
Right.
And I mean, I don't know. Do you have any ideas on how feminism could become intersectional? I mean, you did express like, we got to look at ourselves, but I just feel so I'm very frustrated.
Yeah,
I just don't know how to get the point across to these women who are not being inclusive. They're racist and ableist.
Right. And then to continue to just, bring our story, tell our stories, bring our opinions forward. It's really, that's the best way.
Yeah.
And I think also through jokes, actually, through making fun of it, because there's a sort of a lightheartedness that you can get to very deep, difficult subjects that are hard to address with humor. So I think it's really trying to find a way to make it funny.
I think that's excellent advice. So this brings me to just activism overall. And again, as a disabled person, I've had no choice but to become an activist in order to survive, just to get what I need. And I personally find activism exhausting. I do not draw joy from it, like at all. I wish I didn't have to do it. And it is certainly not a sustainable way to live. I mean, just fighting every day just because you exist. But I feel forced to do it because if I don't, I'll continue to be treated as subhuman. So I want to know from you, does any of this resonate with you? And what motivates your activism?
Oh, it's totally exhausting and it's really frustrating. And it's also like, throughout this pandemic, there's been so many hate crimes against Asian Americans that people, authorities, law enforcement continue to say, well, it's not a hate crime. We're not sure if it's hate crime. And I'm like, why do I have to fight to be hated? Like, I don't think it's cool to be hated. Like, it's not fun for me. What? It's like, why do I have to?
You think I have nothing better to do?
Yeah, it's like,
just all day?
I just want to call it a hate crime because it's fun. It's trending. Like, it's not, it's not comfortable and it's not, but it's just the only thing we're able to do. And it's kind of like our role also as artists, We're just beholden to, this is what our art has to take the form of. And how amazing if we could just be secular in our thinking, and it wouldn't have to go, if we could just be free to be sort of objective, quote unquote, like white cis male, straight perspective on anything. But it's just not possible in this lifetime.
Yeah, agreed. And on that topic, growing up, was there anyone in your life that inspired your nonconformist spirit, like as a little kid? Now, or is your nonconformist spirit past trauma showing itself out of context?
I think it's both. I mean, I had a lot of great role models when I was growing up because my parents, of course, owned a gay bookstore. So I had a lot of the people there who were activists, who were fighting against AIDS. All of their friends and lovers were dying, and they were trying to find a solution to survive it and deal with the anxiety through action, which was activism, which was ACT UP, which was Queer Nation, which was all these very grassroots, early AIDS organizations. That's really powerful. That a great example was made for me with the queer community rising up, and the women of the queer community, because lesbians and gays did not hang out before AIDS.
Right.
So AIDS really brought the entire queer community together in a way that was really profound. So it's something that I think I learned a lot from, and I had a good start there, and that was just a great jumping off point to a life in this work.
That's great. Yeah, and again, the gay community did a lot for me. I felt like during, ACT UP and all the AIDS activism, that was like the first indication I ever got in my life to not take it. Just don't take it quietly. If something is not right, if something is unfair, speak up. I mean, these men were dying. They had nothing to lose. And that really also put fire under my seat to just be like, well, I could be dead. Why am I going to be quiet about being, treated like a second-class citizen?
Yeah.
It's not okay.
And we had to take up the work of all of the people who died. So we sort of had to kind of fill in the gaps of everybody that was lost. So a lot of gay society is really like hierarchical in terms of age. And so we're actually losing like a rung of that ladder in our generation. So we had to sort of stretch across and make more strides just because of where we were age-wise in response to what was happening with our community.
Yeah. It was our never forget. They cannot be forgotten. So I want to shift over to racism. You did touch on the anti-Asian violence, so I want to talk about this. So you have gotten backlash for satirical impressions of Kim Jong-il and Kim Jong-un. Brilliant in my book. Both on 30 Rock and on the 2015 Golden Globe Awards. So after those performances, non-Asian critics and people on Twitter were calling your performance racist and minstrel. The same people who criticized you did not criticize the Golden Globes for not having a single Asian presenter that same year.
Yeah, it's really crazy. I mean, it's really like, I think it's really weird, but it's kind of like, it's sort of white supremacy wants to police race in the same way that they police all the other aspects of society. And again, it's like, we're just doing the same thing. It's so weird. It's so that's why I think that a lot of this is lapsed now. Like we're sort of seeing everybody's kind of come to their senses. Like, wait, that's wrong. We can't live this way. We can't deal with these things this way. And there's no reason to react that way around that. We have to have more inclusion on all aspects before we can actually call out like what is actually really racist. Racism exists in the invisibility, in the void of our space in the conversation.
I mean, it just blows my mind when a non-Asian calls you a racist.
I know, it's so dumb.
And it's happened a lot through your career. It's like
Yeah.
really funny. And but how do you directly respond to these critics?
Well, I don't really, because I don't think that it's almost like it's beneath contempt. Like, it's kind of like, oh, well, it doesn't even deserve the dignity of a response. It's sort of like so dumb.
Mhm.
And also, like, I really have such a aggravating troll problem. Like, if I actually did sort of do that sort of troll fighting, I would never ever stop. So I kind of just sort of cancel it all out. It doesn't make sense to me, and I don't really pay attention to it. But that's the best way to, I think, handle online presence, is to not give any credence to anything that you don't find valuable. So that kind of stuff I don't find valuable.
I think that was unintentional advice, because it's great advice. Just don't engage.
Yeah, it's just better, because it's like we always like take for granted the positive reinforcement that we get on social media, and then something negative appears and we just really like takes the wind out of our sails, and there's no reason we should do that. Look, she's so high.
Oh, she's so cute. She's having
like-
a great time.
She's like, hi, there's catnip, there's
Aw.
CBD.
Aw. Where's the interpreter?
She's like in the other room. She's like sick of it. She's like, I'm like, can't deal with you. You're high. So she's like, she's straight edge.
She's like, I hate you when you get this way.
Yeah, she's straight edge. So she's in the other room, because she's the one who broke her leg. So she has to have a little bit of CBD for her inflammation. And then I give her like the special injection. So this morning she had her injection and she's had her little treatment. So she's a little bit like,
Well, it's for medical purposes, but we got to make sure she doesn't become an addict.
I mean, it's really, she's very good about it. She just does it on the weekends. Although it's Tuesday though, but it's
She just does it after 5 o'clock.
it's for therapy.
Yeah. So, I, like many people in this country, are utterly horrified and disgusted by all this anti-Asian violence in today's culture. And although I haven't seen your parents in a long time, I'm often worried about their safety. Like, and I just feel so overwhelmed and helpless, with the whole situation.
Yeah.
It's like, it's overwhelming, the violence against, Asians, and it's insane. Do you have any advice or anything, like what can we do to combat anti-Asian hate and misinformation?
I think it's just speaking up about it and talking about it, and have it go beyond the Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. May, it was like a very big topic because it was the month that we were supposed to talk about our heritage, but then we have to take it beyond that, and actually talk about it while it's happening, and it's still happening. And my parents are really resilient. They've been through a lot, and they've seen a lot of racism in their time. They've been to in this country since 1964, and they've seen so many cycles of racism and been through a lot of it. And so they're very resilient through it. And so their approach is very philosophical, like, it's not as bad as, really not that bad. At least there's no helicopter dropping bomb. So they've like had so many bad experiences. They came from like a war-torn country.
Right, so they're like, this is child's play.
They're like, oh, there's no big it's okay. But it's really like they're definitely more aware and much more careful about sort of where they are. And
good.
So, but it's like they're also very much like, we just take it as it comes. It's like, these things have happened before, and we've seen this before. And it is cyclical. Whenever America is in crisis, our Americanness comes into question. And that's happened over and over, from the gold rush to the rooting out of Chinatowns in the 1800s, to the Chinese Exclusion Act, to World War II with the Japanese internment camps, to the Vietnam War, to the turnover of the auto industry, when Japanese cars became more the norm, to the LA riots, to 9/11, where huge numbers of the South Asian community were threatened, just because people were just assuming that they were somehow connected to 9/11. You know, the craziness, it's not even the same continent, but it's not even like any of those people are, but, you know, and all the people that are responsible for 9/11 died. So it's like, what is that about? And then, you know, of course, coronavirus. It's just another emergence of that questionable Americanness idea. And it's like Trump saying, we'll build a wall to protect us from Mexico because they're all drug dealers and rapists. It's like, well, we're actually in Mexico. If you live in California, this is Mexico.
Yeah, it's like we belong here.
Yeah, like, we did. I mean, it's like, what are you talking about? It's like, this is Mexico. Like,
my house, my rules.
Yeah, it's so insane. And then also, we're all living on indigenous land. So it's not as if there's ownership of land. There's this idea of ownership of America or this country or whatever. And it's just a very weird, warped idea of nationalism, and it's hurting us.
It's that racist colonial mentality. You know, and you know, this country was founded on colonial ideals, so it will always be racist.
And it's so disheartening, and it's so it's something that, like, I think we've got to let go. That's why I hate when this sort of insurrection is sort of like based on like 1776 the Revolutionary War. They're like trying to act like they're just taking over, like they're the founding fathers again. It's like so insane.
Yeah, but you know what? While they're doing that, if they truly are honoring history, 1776, I want to see them in wigs with makeup and high heels
and lice.
Yeah,
and wooden teeth.
Lice and wooden teeth. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So, well, on to positive things. I've learned a lot from you, including how to be a good dog mom. And can you tell us about Lucia and Michelson Found Animals?
Lucia is from Michelson Found Animals, which is a wonderful animal rescue. And they are really, really incredible. And she came into my life. She's part of a litter that was rescued. And all of the puppies and the mom got adopted. They're all really cute and really sweet. And, you know, she's just the best thing. She's 2.5 years old. She kind of goes with me everywhere. But I think animals are really important, and they've really helped my life so much, and I'm so grateful for them. And Michelson's Animals are just phenomenal with the work they do. And you know, it's a really great thing because animals need our help, and so this is a great organization.
They do. They really need our help. They're the most vulnerable animals and children. We have to protect them. Yes. And if anyone watching wants to learn more about Michelson Found Animals, they are one of our charitable partners, and you can find their info on the Summit website. So please check them out. Let's talk about Fresh Off the Bloat. Now that the world is, I guess, opening back up, it looks like you're going back on tour to continue your Fresh Off the Bloat tour. So I wanted you to share with us, if you could, what inspired your current show and its title?
Well, it's really about the emergence of Asian American voices in entertainment. And it's really like continuation of that, and really talking a lot also about anti-Asian hate, which is something that is more of it. And for me, it's also like being gay bashed versus being Asian bashed. It hits different. You know, it's like, it's very much like really about these ideas of identity, and very much like where does it come come in, and why am I continually fighting? So it's fun, and it's really like changed a lot, because it's like we've been sitting on it for a year and a half. We all been inside, and you know, I feel like it's like I finally actually have a lot of gratitude to be able to go out and do shows, and I've been doing more of them. And it feels weird still, but it feels really good. Everybody's really excited to go out. I just want to make sure that everything is safe and that everybody in the audience is safe. And but it's really like, I think we're coming out into a changed world, I hope, with more of an awareness and consideration for each other.
I hope so too. That would be awesome. Is there any chance you're going to tour this abroad?
Yes, definitely. I was supposed to go to Australia and Asia last year, and probably now we'll go next year. So we'll see. We'll see how everything goes, but I have plans to tour for sure.
I know. That'd be so wonderful.
Yeah.
And just a final thought. The right to make controversial comedy seems to be under attack over like the last several years. What advice do you have for up and coming comics? And do you have advice for audiences regarding this matter?
I think it's really, it's an opportunity for comedians to be very skilled in putting their opinions across and putting the right words to what they're feeling, because people get very triggered very easily. And that's good too, because I mean, cancel culture, what it's all about is really this hope to make language more equal, and acknowledgement that words matter and we matter. And so there's just a chance, an opportunity for us to be much more finessed in what we're doing. And I feel like this is actually a great time for comedy if we can be able to do that. A lot of comedians are really outraged and angry about cancellation culture and all that idea of cancellation, but I don't think it's as simple as that. I think it's actually much more of a complex journey that we need to be much more artfully aware. And that's only going to be better for the art form.
I agree. I love that positive outlook on this.
Yeah.
Because it really puts the responsibility on the artist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to do your homework. You got to really craft it. You got to really work hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And still get your point across. That's
yes.
Awesome. I love it.
Yes.
It makes me feel hopeful.
Yes.
Cool. So is there anything that maybe equality, feminism wise, anything that you'd like to talk about that maybe I didn't get to?
No, I'm just excited for the future. I'm excited for us to finally go back into the world, but I also do enjoy the virtual world that we have now. I mean, this is an incredible way to communicate, and I've been able to do shows online, and I love this. So I hope this continues as well.
Me too. I love it. And
I think it's great.
Off topic, I mean, for disabled people, it's been like a game changer.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many like great, talented, entertainers with disabilities who are now being seen and discovered where physically it was impossible.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love it. I hope it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
So,
I love it.
Thank you so much, Margaret.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Passionistas Project podcast. As real-life sisters, best friends, and business partners, we know how rare it is to have a built-in support system. But we also know that so many women, activists, solopreneurs, and purpose-driven people are out there doing it alone and wishing they had a community like ours. That's exactly why we created the Passionistas Project Sisterhood, a space where support, trust, and authenticity come first. When you join, you become part of our extended family. You'll get the tools you need to grow your business, develop personally, and create real social impact. You'll also learn from our Power Passionistas, leaders, changemakers, and experts who share their wisdom on everything from letting go of perfectionism to embracing community and stepping fully into your purpose. Whether it's through online meetups, chat spaces, Passionistas TV and the Passionistas podcast network, or our exclusive workshop series, you'll be surrounded by like-minded women and gender non-conforming folks who are just as passionate as you are about living with purpose and making a difference. Visit thepassionistasproject.com to join our free membership and become part of this growing global sisterhood of passionate changemakers. We'll be back next time with another inspiring Passionista who's breaking down the barriers and defining success on her own terms. Until then, stay passionate.
This is the new single from Juanes.
Cuando estamos tú y yo. Oh, oh.
It's called Cuando Estamos Tú y Yo.
Como un disparo directo al corazón, te vi llegar y me quedé moribundo. Caí en tus ojos y perdí la razón. Te estoy pensando 1000 veces por segundo. Cuando estamos tú y yo.
Listen to Juanes Cuando Estamos Tú y Yo and more on Spotify.